Good morning. Welcome to my living room. My name is Monique Ruffin, and I'm here today really just to start having a conversation about women's sexuality and sensuality. I am very politically active. I love politics, and I've been very involved in politics since the campaign of President Barack Obama in 2008. And I blog a lot. I do all sorts of things in my community to support political awareness and understanding. And this recent conversation this week around women's contraception really touched a nerve for me. And it did for a number of reasons. The first reason was that it was, I feel like it was hijacked by Catholic bishops who have no understanding of women's needs because they aren't married to women. They don't, they are celibate. They have, taken vows of celibacy. And the women in the Catholic organization, nuns, have also taken vows of celibacy. And though they do have health needs, their needs aren't surrounded around contraception. I attended Catholic school as a girl. I went to Catholic high school in Los Angeles. And so I have a personal experience of what it's like being in that environment, in that consciousness, and what we were taught as girls about our bodies. And I actually don't remember any conversations about sexuality, our bodies. The only thing I recall being taught was that we should abstain. And so the Catholic bishops, for me, they don't have a place at the table in the conversation about women's contraception. And honestly, the other reason that was just infuriating for me is because I don't want to have a conversation about contraception with an organization that has systematically worked to protect child pedophiles and rapists. It just is off. It just doesn't make sense. It's there's something about it so that feels so dirty. And I'm just here to say that they are not welcome in the conversation about women's contraception. And the fact that they were supported by the Speaker of the House, by Newt Gingrich, by Representative Issa, who then went to hold a congressional forum on women's contraception without inviting even one woman, was extraordinarily telling. And it started me to ask the question is, what's going on in this country that today in 2012, a conversation about women's contraception and health can occur without women being present? Like, we have to ask ourselves as women, what have we done to contribute to this outcome? Why are we not in the conversation ourselves? And so I started asking other women, do you remember what you were told about your body when you were 10, 11, 12, 13, 16? And most of them were told absolutely nothing. Most of us were told to keep our legs closed and to abstain until marriage. And so when I realize and I look back and I see that we haven't been in a dialogue about our bodies for decades, for centuries even, that the people who have been having the conversation about our bodies are white men who are making decisions for us, I'm not surprised that there is a congressional hearing about women's contraception and there are no women there. Because women aren't having conversations about our bodies. We're not teaching our daughters the natural chemistry of sensuality and sexuality. We don't understand that there's something that goes on in our bodies and in our brains that just starts to happen at a certain age that makes us naturally sexual and sensual. And what we've been told is that if you like sex, what I was told as a girl, and what most of the women that I've spoken to this week were told as a girl, if you like sex, if you have an interest in sex, if you have a desire for boys, then you are a slut and you are a whore. And this creates shame and silence. And so we don't talk about it. We have not talked about it. And in 2012, we have a congressional hearing occurring without women because we don't talk about it. We don't talk about the truth of how we feel sexually and sensually. We don't celebrate our sexuality and our sensuality. We don't know much about it. We don't really know how our bodies work. And before the play, the Vagina Monologues, we didn't say the word vagina out loud very often, and we still don't. So I am wanting to begin having conversations. I want to have conversations because I'm curious. I have been curious, and I've been having this conversation privately with a lot of my friends for a long time. Most particularly, I've been having it with my best friend, Nicole, who I think she loves me, and I'm not going to say I drive her crazy, but I have a lot of energy around this conversation. And some of it for me is because my mother was a prostitute. And so I had a conversation that was saying, don't have sex, abstain. And I had desires, and my own chemistry was calling me to want to have sex. And then I had this mother who was a prostitute, who didn't own her body because her pimp, who was my father, owned her body. But nonetheless, what was confusing about that was that she was the very thing that I was told was horrible and sinful and dirty, but I loved her. So I have a lot going on, and you know, most people don't have this happening, but I'm still very curious about women's sexuality and sensuality and how it impacts our lives. What are we missing in this experience that we've not been exploring it, talking about it, talking to our daughters about it, talking to our friends about it? What's the spirituality of it? You know, what I know, since I've been on a spiritual journey for a very long time now, you know, for almost 20 years, that there is something very mystical about women's sensuality and sexuality, and that there is a spiritual component more than anything else. And so I want to come out of the closet, so to say, about women and for myself, and I'm willing to have honest dialogues, transparent dialogues. This for me is not gratuitous, but it really is about just exploring who we are so that we own the conversation, so that we begin to live inside of our bodies. Everyday women. I'm an everyday woman. I have had all sorts of ideas and experiences with my sexuality. I still today carry a lot of shame about my own sexuality and my own desires and my own behaviors, and I want to dispel that. And I know that I am not alone in this. I know that you guys are out there and you're with me, and so I just invite you to join this conversation with me. If you are willing to participate, you can email me at Monique, Moniquec, as in cat, Ruffin, Ruffin, at gmail.com. You can visit my webpage, just moniqueruffin.com, and you can Facebook me there. You can leave an email there, and you can ask questions. If there's a topic that you'd like me to discuss or interview someone, you can, let me know what that topic is, and I'll do my best. But I am not an expert. I'm here to learn. I pray that when this is finished, I will be an expert, and that we will never again in the near future or ever again see something happening where men are owning the conversations about women's contraception, sexual freedom, sexual power, and reproductive rights, because this is ours to lead, and it is so vastly important in our society and in our culture and in our lives. And where we start today, we can change it not only for ourselves, but we change it for our daughters and the generations to come after us. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a really great day.